Nothing forgotten. A note from a reader. Thanks, Dave and Penny. Very nice to read that account in last week's story. I remember clearing the ground for the tent that time very well. I had been using a bit of thin steel concrete reinforcing bar that I had found on the ground to hack at the weeds, and when I looked at my hands, which were blistered and beginning to bleed, I felt really good. I was doing something for the Lord, something that was costing me a bit in a small way, but it was very precious to me at the time, as was the whole mission. It felt like we were back in Bible times, and the gospel was doing its work in a very real way, which you probably were used to. But it was quite new to me in that mission context. It was fantastic. It was there I learnt more to throw myself into the practical work, and I cleaned the loos and even ended up under the bus at one point, fixing the exhaust on with some wire. It was my first mission trip with All for Jesus Missions. I'm surprised at Dave getting details about the truck wrong, though. It was the Bedford you had then. The Mercedes came later, as did the larger trailer which boys and girls slept in on different sides of a curtain. On this mission, I think the girls were sleeping in the coach and the lads were on the ground outside. Graham. Because of Graham's eagle eye and his younger memory, Nana and Pops thought they had better look through some old photographs of missions, and of course he was right. It was the old Bedford and trailer and original canvas tent. The boys slept under the coach, or between the coach and truck, and the girls slept in the coach, not quite as luxurious as Pops remembers. Tucked in the photographs there is a picture of a group of young Angolan Christians. This photo must have been taken around 1984-85, who had escaped the civil war that was being fought in Angola, most of them losing both parents in the Troubles. Pops was invited to speak in their Angolan church that a remarkable lady and her daughter had started just outside Porto. Although Pops felt the Lord had moved amongst them, they were all very cautious and a little nervous. After a few meetings they began to open up and to tell some of their stories which shocked Pops and made him start to understand a little of why they were still so nervous. They had had terrible experiences. All Pops has now is one single photograph of those teenagers with their adopted mother, but God knows their stories intimately. Everything is written down. Nothing of their suffering and bravery will be forgotten. Pops, to his shame, has forgotten many individual stories that have been told him through the years, but every story has been written down in heaven, and in that day the books will be opened, and every story read and judged. But happy are the ones whose names are found in that other book, the book of life. These are the ones who will see his face. What a day that will be.